Hi everyone, I'm Alex Bilbie-Clarke, the group product manager for audio over here. But I actually started here 8 years ago as a UX designer, so I've been doing these sort of UX meetups for years and years, and it's really thrilled to be involved with my department now. I'm up here to sort of welcome you to the ABC, but before I do that, we should quickly acknowledge the land on which we're meeting on today, which is that of the medical people. It's also the land I live on, work, I walk my dog. It's central to my life, and really want to be thankful for that, to the Gadigal people for giving all that, tending that land. So I'd like to pay respects to them, to their elders, past and present. So, the ABC. Welcome to the ABC. This is our first time hosting an event up here. We have hosted one other event a few days before this, so we got people that post by play 14, but still, it's really thrilled to be starting to set up more events in this space. For those who aren't aware of what the ABC is, I think you all do, but we don't make too many assumptions here. We're the public broadcaster of Australia. We reach our audiences via audio, video, and written content, online, radio, and on the TV. Right now, you're sitting on the Strong Terrace, which is actually sitting on top of a huge recording wall we use for classical music recordings. You've got sort of Triple J sitting up there. They record like a version down there. You might have seen on the way in all of the news to report is down on that end of things. And my area, digital product, is over in that corner over there. Yeah, welcome. Just a few very quick bits of housekeeping. Toilets are down the end and to the left. You will need a pass to get in there. So please let one of our many amazing volunteers and security know when you need to head back there. Volunteers, do you want to wave your hands? We've got Angelo, Ezra, and Gina, and Amy at the back, all amazing contributors. 3 of them are fantastic product designers, and we'll talk to them later. Emergency exits, there are some stairs just behind that wall there, which will take you straight up to the street. And one other thing to call out is we will have food arriving around 7. So there will be pizzas, don't worry, it's not here yet, but it'll be here very soon. So I'm looking forward to that. So this is what we're running through today. Just about 1 hour of presentations. We're kicking off with Omar, who's going to talk about how to apply user research in content creation and working on the areas of social media and gaming, which I thought would be a really interesting case study for those who haven't seen how it applies to those sort of spaces. We'll then roll into a sort of 4-person chat about the future of ABC. So you might have seen Tim Hardaker presented a bit of a vision piece that he did last year. Because we've been with people who've seen that already, we've actually decided to add a few really practical talks afterwards that are just showing little ways in which we're implementing a larger product vision. Hopefully give you something new, or at least an interesting story to have with that. Finally, we'll have a few call-outs for other meetups, upcoming events, and then food and drink. So thank you very much. With that out of the way, Emma.
Thanks, Alex. So these folks, yes, cool. Hi everyone, how's it going? My name is Omar, I am the content strategist at the Innovation Lab. This is my team, so I work with designers, developers, strategists, and content makers. So I have no product design experience or training, so I'm going to talk to you about user research, so there might be some things that come in there as I go along. But we'll see how we go. So these are the major divisions as part of the ABC, and the Innovation Lab sits here. When I was putting all these squares together, one square is supposed to be like 50 people, so really little labs like half a square. And what the lab does is that we help ABC teams test ideas, content, and technology to better serve audiences. So for example, we might run a content experiment on TikTok, and we would work for the teams that you use, a bunch of teams in that content division, which is like pretty much all content other than news. Or we might run like an AI prototype and would run with teams of news, teams of digital product team, marketing strategy, stuff like that. So the projects that I want to talk to you about today stemmed from research that Colin and I did about 3 years ago, where we surveyed 700 plus 10 to 17-year-olds and also interviewed them. So one of the questions we had for them, not written like this, but written as what words come to mind when you think of the ABC. And there were two major trends that came from this. One, that those 10 to 17-year-olds associated the ABC with kids' content, so stuff they would have watched when they were younger, or the younger siblings would watch that they don't watch anymore. And then the other side, they associated with news content, so stuff that their parents would watch, but they find it boring, and essentially so long for them. So that was the main finding. It was fun when we were enjoying ABC content when we were younger, but it's no longer for us. And so this speaks to actually a really important audience gap for the ABC, which is this gap for tweens and teens. So maybe a couple of decades ago, we would have expected that a kid would have left watching the ABC content when they were 10 years old, and then they would have returned to us when they were 18 years old for Triple J. Now, because there's so much competition, like streaming services, YouTube and social creators and stuff like that, what we find is that they actually return to us later in life, so no longer 18 but 25 plus. And if we don't have them, I suppose, at that early age for Triple J, that means we can't pass them on to Double J, other ABC websites and content stuff too. So this is one of the things we discovered in that 2019 research, was that the favourite video genre on YouTube and social for 10 to 17-year-olds was overwhelmingly gaming. So the thing that the gaming content that these kids were watching was really created by influencers. So it could be like a single person in their bedroom filming themselves play a video game. It looks a bit like this. But what they weren't watching was the media outlets like the ABC or IGN or whatever else. And the reason they watched these influencers is because they were funny, they could do things off the cuff, they could swear and be inappropriate, things that the ABC wouldn't really stray into too much. And another more global trend what we're seeing is games and video on lighting at a rapid pace. So, for example, this is a Roblox game that Netflix developed for the Stranger Things premiere, like one of their episodes. And so players would come into this world, it looks like the Stranger Things world, they watch the premiere episode, and they could run around the world, collect items, solve mysteries and puzzles and stuff like that. At the same time, Netflix is developing a whole bunch of video games, essentially taking AAA titles that already exist and building it for like mobile platforms and whatever else too. And then we're seeing stuff like The Mandalorian using game development engines like Unreal Engine to create virtual sets that make up the background of their films. We're seeing like Disney characters and DC and Marvel characters into video games like Dreamlight and Fortnite. And there's so many TV shows and movies now coming out which are just entirely based on video game storylines too, like The Last of Us, Super Mario, Halo, Castlevania. So the question from here was like, we know there's a 20 and 10 gap. How should the ABC reach this audience? Like, is there a way we can have like a meaningful connection with them? I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan, hence this year. These actually took longer than most of the presentation. The needles left it makes me chuckle. So once we got this research, the ABC children's team came to us like, well, how do we solve this 20 and 10 problem? And I think, something that Alex was mentioning is like the way the innovation lab works is if we're doing a content experiment, we'll combine with user research, like what can we learn from this content, how should we commission it, stuff like that. So the two projects that we did was one gaming and YouTube series. This was we did a partnership with Triple J and Children's Team, and this was targeted towards 15 to 21-year-olds. And then we also did a game prototype built on Roblox, and this was targeted at 8 to 12-year-olds. There's so many people that worked on these projects with me, so it's kind of weird talking about this alone, but just know there's a whole big bunch of people behind the curve. So firstly, that gaming YouTube series with Triple J and Children's. So first of all, we wanted to do this on TikTok, not on YouTube. So one of the things 3 years ago, TikTok was like on the rise so rapidly. for this age group, but at the time the ABC was going through like a major social media account crackdown. Like there was a point where social media was a bit like Wild West. Anyone create an account on Facebook or on Twitter, and it might be for like a TV program that just ran for a season, or like a really niche topic area. And then they would be underserviced, they wouldn't have enough content there, there'd be moderation. So essentially, like, they'll crack all those accounts down, and we weren't allowed to create a TikTok account, so we went with the YouTube group. And the process that we went through for this was first to create these, like, to generate these ideas for this gaming YouTube series. We brought together ABC staff who play video games. We really wanted gamers in the room. Like previous to that, there were some initiatives that non-gamers were working on to create like YouTube series about video games. And it's kind of like, I mean, if you're not an expert at creating something about, if you're not creating a show about baking, you probably don't want to do that, right? It wouldn't really work. We asked this team to come up with like, one, why should the ABC actually even play in this space if there's so much content that's out there at the moment, like developed by creators, which can be inappropriate and whatever else? Does the ABC even have a role in that space? And the other thing you asked them to do is like, based off the ABC's competitive strengths or the edge that we can bring to the market, like what ideas can we put out there? So we're going to generate a bunch of ideas too. And then so we went then to two groups. There was tweens, younger teens, board gamers as well as the multi-team game group. And to these two groups, first thing we wanted them to generate their own ideas. What do you think the ABC should create when it comes to gaming content? And also we got the ideas that came from those ABC staff and put it in front of them like, do you love it? Do you hate it? What can you improve on? And stuff like that. So this is one of the ideas that the game team came up with. It's called Chat Has Control, and it's especially on YouTube Live or Twitch, so essentially this live video service. And this is the drawing that you did for it. So the box that you're seeing on the left is essentially the video that you would see on YouTube Live or on Twitch. The top right hand corner shows like a really sad face, the player, the creator, influencer of the game. And the middle of it shows like essentially the game screen, and there's like a voting yes or no. So essentially every time this player has to make a decision in the game, do you fight this person, do you dress up this way, do you build this sort of house? They've got to listen to the live audience that's there. And the participant that came up with this idea just thought the chat would get increasingly more evil, like make it harder and harder for the player to succeed in the game, so it'd be that fun element. And then there was this idea as well, so it's called Day in Life. So especially on YouTube, and the participant that came up with this idea really wanted to see, I guess, the normal side of the creators that they follow. Wanted to feel like they could relate to them, be connected with them on kind of an emotional level. This is the drawing that they came up with. This is it kind of makes me feel like sad when I see it. Yes, good job, right? So this was the winning idea. It's called the break room. The core components of it was that you would take Triple J presenters, the visiting artists, the musicians, and other guests that come to Triple J, and put them in the Triple J break room and get them to play video games together. So it was pretty clear sort of competitive edge that the ABC would have this, creating that bedroom would be able to get access to all the musicians and artists. And the other thing that was awesome, that we also used to prove this idea we wanted to go with, was that all the teams just love this idea. They were like, yes, I'm signing for just straight away. So they're the ones that we chose as the target audience. And yeah, so what we wanted to do is really take like a test and learn approach for this content. So like, sometimes when content's created by different production teams, they might be just sitting in a room or on a shoot just for the production team themselves and don't have that sort of that connection with the audience. Like, what are they feeling and thinking when they actually see the content? So one of the things we want to do is like, how about we get the content in front of this audience as early as possible and learn how we can improve what they love about it, what they hate about it, stuff like that. So first we were about setting up a partnership between Children's Triple J and Innovation Lab. Then we went out to film 3 program episodes. Then we took those 3 episodes to 15 to 21-year-olds, got them to tell us what they liked and hated about it. Then with the learnings that we got from that testing, we brought it into the creation of another 3 episodes. So we had 6 altogether now. And then we went to launch. And we went to launch it on a YouTube channel called BBC Gamer. And this was like freshly rebranded from like a previous sort of kids YouTube channel. It'd been sort of inactive for 6 to 12 months. Yeah, we wanted to, I guess, revitalize it and give it the series as well. Yeah, so this is highlights from the first 3 episodes. So you get the vibe, right? Like, it's very different from other ABT stuff that it's yeah, so now we took these 3 episodes out to 15 to 21-year-olds. There were 10 of them. There were Triple J fans and non-Triple J fans. There were gamers and non-gamers. And this is what they said. So they love seeing the label side of musicians. They're also one of the media Aussie musicians. And this was both pro and con. So some said, I want to know more about the Aussie music scene, this would be a great way to get into it. Others also said, I want to click on this unless I reflected on the format. And we don't have that much. This was probably power. I don't think we could play a video game either. They also loved the chemistry between the presenter and the guest. They thought the presenter could balance the banter and game chatting more. They said also that it was hard to follow who was playing which team or which character. And they said that we definitely watched this little short clips on Instagram and TikTok. So yeah, because the YouTube clips I think were about 10 minutes long. Some liked the longer watch time, others like the short clips for sure. But overall, I really enjoyed the content. There's room for improvement. Can't wait to see more. Yeah, so we're going to produce 3 more episodes, and these are all the learnings that we took to these 3 episodes. Improve the set aesthetics, make thumbnails better, do not short clips for Triple Instagram. Got the presenter to guide the conversation more, to do more structured introductions to the game and guests as well. And we also got to review the game suitability, so I think we're trying to do more Mario Kart and Streetcar. And also review the guest list, so like some of the guests that we put in front of these kids that didn't just recognise, or they were like, we're not into this sort of music, so we wanted to shoot that out as well. With one of the talent kids, so it's Tom Cardi, this is in the top left corner. He's like a musician to me, he's got a big following. We're doing 2 shoots with him. The first shoot that we did with him, we got to the edit. Apparently said so much inappropriate stuff, none of it made it to the edit. So he like, come back and do a occasional shoot with us. And so we actually get that one back. Yeah, so now we're ready for launch. Yeah, so when we went to launch, the nice thing was we got really positive audience reactions. So this is one of the comments from one early video. This is definitely the channel has access to all the musicians on the way out of Triple J Studio. Now I want to like a version where each you make a musician, show that's his house on Minecraft drawings. So pretty much like the reason, the justification for why we chose this series. But on the other hand, the views were really inconsistent. So for Triple J's Instagram, for the 15 to 18-year-olds, we had 400k plus views, and we also got 3,500 click-throughs from Instagram over the YouTube channel, which is great for launch. But when it came to the ABC Gaming YouTube channel, for the first 3 videos, they only averaged 2,000 views. For the second 3 videos, the one that had the learnings, they did marginally better. The Tom Cardi video I talked about did really well, he's got such a major following. And so at this point, this is when the innovation lab stepped away and like, we're committed to 6 episodes for this experiment. We leave it in the hands of Triple J and Children's. The very next episode they did was, they got Dr. Carl on, and he was reviewing this game called Mass Effect, which is like a science fiction game where you take off in launching rocket ship. So it was perfect for that, and that one did well. But then the content that came out after that, these reviews, it didn't gain traction with the audience. It was at this point that's when Triple J and Children started to show on series. So for me, like, I was like watching from afar, kind of gutted. I was really invested in the serial line and continued to do well. And so kind of the question of what if we did things differently? Potentially they could have managed the expectations around YouTube algorithm better, because it's so hard to get stuff surfaced on YouTube in comparison to TikTok and Instagram. Also wonder about, so user research limitations here. Like putting a video in front of somebody and asking them to like, indicate what we improve on. And we get that feedback from them, and we have high expectations based on the feedback. But then they go back to the real world where there's like just tons and tons of content. It's like how can you trust that? Is there another tool toolkit you need for this sort of thing? I think we've got the content makers more invested. So when we were doing ideation really early on, the group that was there was like from a wide range of different places around the ABC, including Triple J. But I think maybe after we developed the original idea, we could have got Triple J presenters in the room and like the actual content makers and have them put their standard review on it, so I'm more committed. I also do a dive on TikTok a little bit, like this series is going to go ahead unless we do this on TikTok. But I have dived on so many videos. I don't know what to do, I don't know. I suppose that the one positive thing that came out of this was that the series showed that we had the evidence that we needed to be on TikTok for this age group. So from there, we helped the children's team set up the TikTok account, ABC Gamer and ABC Z, which is like the Gen Z TikTok account, and they're doing really well. Yeah, I mean, the same failure is great, right? So this is the second project that we're working on. I don't know what I'm talking about. So this is the game prototype we developed for Roblox. Yeah, so one of the things we learned in the 2010 research as well is that Roblox was the second most popular game amongst its audience. And half the audience on this platform are under the age of 13. So if you land on like the Roblox homepage, it looks a bit like the YouTube homepage, but instead of each of these thumbnail lead videos, it leads to a different video game. And anyone can go on Roblox and create a video game. So that means the variety of games is really massive. You'll have first-person shooters, you'll have puzzle games, you'll have adventure games, but then also the level of quality really varies as well. So you get some games which are horrendous and other games which are amazing. This is an example of one of the more popular games on Roblox. It's called Jaws. Essentially, I use to get into this world. It's a complicated dungeon thriller-like environment where they've got to solve a puzzle in one room and then be able to get to the next door and open that door to the next room. Apparently, there's like 100 rooms. It takes an hour to finish, and apparently it's really hard to finish as well. So there's so many people who just die on level 1 time, and it gets them back to level 1. And kids will do it. Like, I wouldn't do it. Kids will do it. Yeah, so what if we created a Roblox game and then we mixed it with the children's brands? Imagine the ones in pajamas on Roblox or high school or whatever else. The problem right here is that these good games are which like games review shows that we can't follow. If we, I suppose, put these together in a mix, we would be able to reach 8 to 12-year-olds. Yeah, so going into this, we had so many questions like, what's the best way to integrate a brand onto Roblox? What sort of worlds would Roblox should we build? What are the risks? Like, will parents be so concerned that when their kids play it? How much will it cost? We condensed it down to 2 major questions when it came to user research. One was, will 8 to 12-year-olds actually enjoy playing a Roblox game made by the ABC? And the second was, are families happy for their kids to play an ABC Roblox game? There we go. So this is the prototype we built. We built it with this external agency. Super sort of quick development time, but essentially it's like an optional course as well as a quiz. And this is a screen recording of a couple of research participants playing it. So there's a slide element in which you collect different items, and there's a quiz element where you run through the door which you feel has the right answer. And based off the items you collect and the answer that you select, you would get star points in the bottom left corner. So the research process we went through was first doing an online survey, we've got basic sort of details down with demos, what sort of YouTube channels they follow, what sort of games they play. Then we went out to 12 families, and some of this was contextual research when we actually went to the homes and talked with the families about their entertainment habits, what kids like to do alone, what families like to do as what they enjoy together. Then we left them alone for like a week, and the kids could play the game as much or as they wanted. And then we revisited those families, and we were like, what do you think of the game? How can we improve it? Stuff like that. And actually, it was really fun going back there again to revisit these families. Like the kids almost treated us like old friends. They were so familiar with us. I think there was one family that kids like keep staying and chat more, but just like chatting about their interests, which is really sweet. So this is what we got from the testing results. A lot of kids, they just love racing against friends. Really, it's a game that's designed to be, you can't play this long, it's boring to play long, because you just come first every time, there's no point. There's just a legit like the channel, in the bottom right corner. They said made it more challenging. It felt like I think we pitched the difficulty level at an age group which was slightly younger. The quiz was fun at first, but it was really competitive. And also give you a reason to come back, so they'll like do the start points to anything, can I spend them in the Roblox shop, can I buy a speed boost? We didn't have any of that. I think this comment from a 12-year-old summed it up. So I enjoyed it, I could tell it's an early draft, so I wouldn't recommend it first just yet. Brutally honest. And there was this one kid which was like, we asked them, like, do you watch BBC content? They were like, yeah, but it's like the least favourite thing we watch. So they asked everything I said. Very sobering. Yeah, and so we also want to know what parents think about online gaming and Roblox in general. So I think it's no surprises. The concerns were that strange time might their child, that they're concerned the child might be addicted to screens, they might hold their attention spans. Physical health was also, I guess maybe for me that was surprising, or maybe not surprising. But they talked about their kids just staring at the screen, having sort of their eyesight getting worse. They're also concerned that their kid might encounter inappropriate content. We also found out that 3 families actually banned Roblox before we did the research. But then they reinstalled it when we did the testing. And when we talked about the several parents actually said if the ABC designed a Roblox game, they trust it. So maybe there's the next step. In terms of what's next, so we actually just wrapped up this research a month ago. So we're actually having conversations about this right now in terms of what's next for the ABC and Roblox. This case study came up a few weeks ago called Twilight Daycare, where essentially it's the first animated series produced in Roblox. So the developers built a world Twilight Daycare in there, they've got characters to run around, and they could essentially film it and explore it as an animated series. So what happens if we build like baseball as a Roblox world, films that are happening in there, and then we can invite the kids into play in that same world? So that just be this continuous experience they would have, so you don't have to wait for the next episode. But yeah, just we're interested to see where it goes. The slide that I want to end on is just about here's my work, looking at twins and teens. There's a lot of it's focused on platforms like TikTok and Roblox, where kids are like hamsters on a wheel, just video after video, game after game, not even a break between them, they don't want to have a break. And this was a comment we got from one teenager in the initial research. She watched the video, she remembers them for a couple of hours, and then she completely forgets about it, so technically it's kind of pointless watching them. That was sad to hear. But when I think about the research that Hardaker did in his book called Stolen Focus, it's showing that attention spans are increasingly getting shorter and shorter, and then I suppose shorter attention spans are correlated with feeling like life is less meaningful. So it makes me think what's the relationship the animals should have with this age group? Wouldn't it be better if the hamster looked like this and finding a way to get those kids to have those meaningful experiences? And kind of, so one of the ideas that I feel connects with this came out in the early ideation session. It's called arena gaming, and it was about, instead of interacting with kids through a screen, one of the things games actually ran real life events. So imagine Q&A, but they're playing video games instead. And kids would come, they'd watch their favourite pro gamers, or they'd be able to play video games themselves. And when we tested this idea with the twins and other teams that really, a lot of them really loved it. So yeah, maybe this would actually be able to create a stronger relationship with that age group rather than creating a video we get watched and then forgotten about 2 hours later. Yeah, that's it.
We only have one mic, so I'm going to run here. Evan?
That was great, by the way. Really, very cool. Learned a lot from that. Actually, someone that purchased Roblox vouchers, like for 3 different members of his family at Christmas, so that was a new insight for me, and that's what we wanted. I just wondered if, like when you were looking user research-wise, were there any other media channels that have done Roblox, channels and throughout which you can cross anywhere else?
Yeah, so many.
There's so many. So BBC had done one. They had this. It was like a show called James Sutherland, who's a soccer player, and they built a game which is based around soccer, kicking goals and stuff like that. Netflix has done a bunch. So many public broadcasters in Europe are jumping on it right now as well. There's one, I think it's the Finnish broadcast, where they actually, I think they've got this day in Finland where they just invite the public into the swarm, their parliament house, and they built a Roblox game on that, and thousands of people attended the whole around. But yeah, there's a lot of brands which are jumping on it. And that's just me talking about the public companies, but in terms of the private sector, you get like fashion brands and everything else like that jumping in there too. And Roblox is trying to make the experience more safe for kids too. I think they're going through the early Minecraft days where it's a bit Wild West right now.
Take one more question. We'll go to Wolfe first. Guys.
Yeah, thanks for walking through the detailed picture of how you did the user research and that feedback was. You hinted at a couple of things about the organisation. Do you mind giving at least a little bit of a picture of what kind of organisation, roadblocks and friction that you were navigating through or dodging, and maybe some positive or negative experiences along the way there?
I haven't been really transparent. Maybe there's a few layers. One, I feel like there's maybe a tension around should the ABC be in entertainment spaces. So there's friction you'll come across in terms of that sort of thing. And then another tension is where we invest our resources. Should we keep investing our resources in our own product like buying or listening? Or should we be really trying to get on third-party platforms as well? I feel like in the latter camp, third-party platforms are pretty important because that's what kids are. And then, I suppose just the approval side, editorially, like just making sure that everything checks the box, everything's safe for kids. Even just being on Roblox, the question comes up, does this look like that we're endorsing Roblox? When you're ready to get into idea, it's like, when I go to editorial policies on it, it's like, you've got to play a different video game every single time, so you can't do a competition based on one video game. You're not doing something endorsing Faulkner or something like that. That's it. There's more maybe the global challenge of the ABC. But then on a team level, it's like, we've invested enough money in terms of working with this team on this project, so we've got we don't want to be taken advantage of, like they're using the experimental font space very well, so time to move on to the project. Yeah, this is something that helps you know.
Oh, and I wanted to ask a quick question to the crowd actually. Is Innovation Lab?
Thank you, Sarah, still in the mic. Yeah, so Omar and I work together at Innovation Lab, and one of the things that we were talking about in terms of user research for content and lots of different. So I come from UX and product background, and we can't just take, testing the way we tested products and apply it to content. If anyone has any tips, ideas, strategies that could apply, super keen to hear.
Thank you. And thanks again, Emma.
pass over to Hardaker, Emma Gogolewski, Sophie and SydDT to talk about product features.
Thanks, Alex. As Alex said at the start, and I've been spotting people who might have seen a version of this talk before, so I'll go through these in a few slides. But the most exciting part of us talking about product features today is the fact that my amazing colleagues here to talk about how we're bringing the ideas to life, like how we're actually putting it into practice with our product strategies in 2024. So, yeah, little quick intro of myself. My name is Tim, I'm a group product manager here at the ABC. I've got 2 decades in media and digital. Joined the ABC in 2015, initially in Triple J upstairs, then worked in the audio product division. So yeah, came from an average content maker background to become an average product manager, and hopefully combined, that makes me an okay product strategist, but we'll see how that pans out. So yeah, really passionate about how people discover, consume, and share content when it comes to online and digital. So this ABC Digital Product, that's the division that I work in, and my colleagues who are here today also work in. So we are the driving force behind digital at ABC. So we build the websites and the apps and the experiences by which you consume the amazing content that the ABC produces. Really various suite of products. We've got a wide variety of formats, genres, platforms, experiences, and device types that we have to cater to. And our cross-functional teams have people from product, design, engineering, research, delivery, coaching, business and test analysts, data science, you name it, they're fully cross-functional. And we have organised those teams into, roughly speaking, product and platform divisions. So products who manage the audience-facing experiences and the platform teams that build those enabling technologies that plug into all of our experiences and make them share hopefully a cohesive experience. So we've got 220 or over 220 staff in 22 teams. This is the sales pitch bit. We're always hiring. Keep an eye on the ABC through this website. Our team's around 20% year on year. So yeah, in a downturn time for tech, we need good tech people. So tell everyone you know, please. Yeah, we reach 12 million Australians every month, more than through our products. So, a big footprint on web, mobile, apps, connected TVs, smart speakers, watches, everything else that's connected. And we take a truly audience-first approach to everything that we do, and that's what the ABC Charter demands of us. So, the product features mandate that was given to us. So this started, I guess, as a strategic idea. So obviously our teams, they've got their own work that they're prioritising, sprint to sprint, quarter to quarter. And we also have the ABC 5-year plan, which is quite a big, kind of lofty thing that sets, a long-term vision for where we're heading. And what we thought was that something needed to sit in the middle there as a layout to cohesively bring together our product experiences and sort of, just set that vision for the future about how we can bring them together. So I guess the analogy that we threw around when we first started planning this work was we wanted to get, from petrol cars to electric cars, not from petrol cars to flying cars. So, and the most exciting thing for me is that this isn't just a strategy or an idea, or an idea anymore. It's real, and really excited to have Sue and Sophie and Emma talk about tonight about how they bring it to life in their teams. So, the purpose of this was to define a unified vision for ABC's digital products so that we can meaningfully engage with emerging audiences. We use that framing emerging audiences rather than just young audiences because we wanted to really capture the gap, I guess, that exists for us at the ABC. Omar referred to it, that sort of teen and tween audience. That's definitely kind of falls within this emerging audience framing. But we also see it as potentially audiences that may not have grown up with ABC part of their life. So if you didn't grow up with ABC Kids or have that entry into Triple J in adulthood, why would you ever look to the ABC to discover and consume content? We also want to help audiences discover and follow the content and stories that matter to them. So discovery is obviously one of digital's most existential issues, especially now as we enter the era of AI-generated content. So how can we aid people to just get to the story that they want as quickly as possible, with as least amount of friction as possible? And then finally, what actually makes the ABC unique? You know, really unique, a really crowded media landscape. What's the ABC's superpowers? This chart that I wrote here, people often like, so it's really just to show that, you know, within our lifetime, not my lifetime because I'm older than 35, but how much, you know, I guess the landscape is fragmented within, you know, a relatively speaking short space of time. So on the left-hand side there, you've got 35 years ago, late 80s into the early 90s. The ABC was essentially one broadcast linear television network. It was a very small handful of radio stations, and obviously no digital services at all. Fast forward to today, and you've got kind of, you know, that mountain of choice from digital and linear and broadcast TV. You've got 60-something radio networks, and you've got actually too many digital experiences to count. So, you know, why do we need to be more careful and considered in how we engage these emerging audiences? It's because, I mean, this is how fractured and fragmented it is in the ABC context, but extrapolate that out across the entirety of media, and you start to get an idea of how much choice is out there. And just because the media has fragmented, the landscape's fragmented, you know, the ABC is such a good illustration of kind of just how fragmented that has become. So this timeline, I'm not putting any times against it, but obviously past is we had very much a broadcast first mindset. You know, this idea of monoculture, so you know there was the story of the day and everyone kind of knew what was going on around that. And choice was extremely fixed. You turned on TV and there was that one network to choose from. The future obviously looks extremely different to that. So it's digital first and it's about content that's on demand to audiences. It's completely personalised, so you don't need to be faced with content that you're not interested in. And the choice is limitless. So where we are in that timeline is probably a point of a lot of debate and conjecture within the ABC. But you know, we need to get to that future point because that's where our audiences are moving and they're getting there faster than we currently are. So we really need to up our game. The process that we took for this, we went through 17 co-design and road mapping workshops with our teams. We built out 5 prototypes that we iterated on in successive cycles of testing. We did 26 hours of testing with the audience, consulted with a range of subject matter experts from within the ABC, but then also more broadly from media in Australia and also in Europe and the US. And then reviewed, you know, countless, not countless, 9, but felt like countless, research and strategy documents that kind of talked about where media and where content was headed. So I'm skipping over a huge part of the entire process here to just take us straight to the insight that we put forward, which is that we feel emerging audiences want a unified ABC experience. This can be a terrifying statement to make to some people in the ABC, and I'm not saying that this statement is about us creating one app, one experience to all them all. But the statement here that you can see from a research participant really says it best, which is the content itself, I'm really happy, but having to go through so many different apps, you know, that's where the pain really exists. So instead of competing with each other, our products and our experiences, how can we unify our products to give audiences a more cohesive and holistic experience? So obviously to do that work, we need to work in teams, everybody does, but by working in teams, that's just creating silos and obstacles that exist between those experiences. Is anyone here familiar with the concept of Conway's law? Okay, yeah. So it's a phrase or a concept that was coined by a computer programmer from England called Melvin Conway in 1967. But essentially, it's this idea that an organization's structure is what you end up shipping to your customer or to your audience. So I guess the idea of the ABC as a very large organization, has tentacles everywhere, it needs to structure itself in a very organized way. And that's kind of how our product experiences have in turn been put to our audience. And what we learned through going through this process was that our audience did not have that view of the ABC that was that neatly categorized and organized. So I guess, without getting too esoteric, what we're trying to kind of do with this work is really break Conway's law in a way, and instead think about how our audience wants to consume content through the ABC. It's not through a disparate collection of products that are all silos or endpoints to discover. Instead, we want to create more meaningful pathways between them. So off the back of that, we settled on 5 principles, shared principles, and these have become, I guess, things that we hand on now to our product teams that they can then start to implement in their own roadmaps and their own strategies to really bring this strategy to life. So going through them really quickly, different experiences, that's about more experimentation and having a much broader view of what sort of formats of content we're putting into our products. Obviously taking an approach of content that's produced for digital first instead of just catching up on broadcast is a great step here. UI that's really fresh and engaging and captures people, creates an experience that feels like it's for them rather than we have this phrase come up, which has been contentious in other talks I've done, of people called some of our experiences boomerish, which I like. Second is personalized by default. So this debate over is personalization something we should do or not do, so over that discussion was so beyond that, and our audiences actually involved the testing experiences, whether the experience was personalized or not, they actually assumed it was, and that just gives you an indication of like how the expectation of audiences around this particular concept has shifted over the years. Connected content across the ABC, so how can we break down those silos between brands, between experiences, and create more meaningful cross-product journeys. The fourth one, frictionless journeys. Again, all of these obstacles that you must introduce into your products to make them more engaging and capture the first-party data with login and profiles. They can be reasons to leave. You're adding obstacles to consume content, so how can we actually make that as frictionless as possible? And the fifth one, AI. I'm actually just not really going to talk about it today because that's a whole can of worms that, it's really exciting stuff, but we're dipping our toe in there, we're not kind of jumping in at first, I would say. So, I'm going to hand over now to Sue and Sophie, and they're going to talk about how they're actually bringing this to life through our ABC accounts and profile experience. So, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Sue, Product Manager for ABC Accounts, and I'm here with Sophie today, our design researcher, to have a chat to you about how we're designing a more connected ABC experience. So Tim mentioned just now some of the challenges we have around delivering a unified ABC experience. Because we're working in these teams or these silos, often that's what's reflected in siloing our audience experience. So we wanted to focus in on two of those principles, which is had on the slide, which is around connected content across the ABC and frictionless journeys. We felt that ABC Accounts was a logical place to start exploring these ideas, for a number of reasons. So firstly, it's one account across the ABC. So you can log in with the one account, whether it's on News, iView, Listen, or Triple J. You have the one account to log in into your web, app, and TV experiences. Once you're logged in, you can then set your preferences, and they get centralized against one account, which means that it can be applied to all your experiences across those different products and the different devices that you're on. And by understanding your preferences and your behavior across these products, it means that we can deliver a more personalized experience and ensure that we can deliver the right content in the right place at the right time. So what does this look like in practicality at the moment? So there's a few screenshots there of iView, and it is my profile, so feel free to judge my taste in content. But we have experience on desktop and on app, so I can add things to my watch list, or I can continue watching programs. Whether on desktop or app, I know that when I log in to those experiences, I'm going to be able to access those lists from both platforms. There's also things like some live streams that come up because I've set my location against the account. Those live streams will be ordered in terms of relevance to my location. And there's also a rail that you can see on the desktop experience around recommendations for yourself. So by understanding your interests and preferences across the products, we're able to serve content that will be of interest to you. So we understand how this would work within one product experience. We wanted to explore what does that look like if we take it outside of just iView and we look at journeys from iView to listen or iView to news. What might that look like? So that's where we started looking at designing a more connected ABC experience, which Sophie will take you.
So our design team set out to create this vision, which you can see walking through on the screen up here. This is the centralized space. This is the home of all your ABC things, all the things you've saved, all the things you've followed, and personalised recommendations based on what you've watched, listened, or read. We created this concept to then take to the audience and talk to them. We recruited a range of participants from what we would consider power users down to light users, so we get more of an accurate reflection of who our true audience is. And we intended to understand, is there value in this centralised ABC space? Can they find and locate content through here? And most importantly, does it encourage increased awareness of content? And what we found out, our first major insight is it was pretty positively received. And the primary value articulated was that it was a simpler and smarter source of discovery. And when I'm talking about discovery, it's discovery of those saved or followed items you had interacted with explicitly, and personalised recommendations inexplicably collected. Now, the value to a power user, the person who uses multiple apps and is an avid saver and follower, is being able to see all that in one place and manage it and sort it and rediscover what they've collected. But that light user, the personalised recommendations was more for them. So it gave value to that broad spectrum of audience I was talking about. And it was also seen as a unique feature in our competitive set. Our second insight is that the preferences that we shared across products and devices delivered that frictionless and convenient experience. When I mean preferences, I'm talking about you've saved your location, you've saved favourite topics. So when we share that further than the one app that you're using, we're taking away so much effort in onboarding into a new product. It's also really seen as an expected part of any large organised digital agency. Finally, not everything was positive. We have a big challenge. The audience were not really clear on where this sat in the ABC ecosystem. Is it an app? Is it a website? Is it a menu? It wasn't entirely clear, and they couldn't really think of, they didn't really know how they could return back there. And this will be a really important part of the equation we must now solve.
So, for our research, we learned that this idea of a centralized agency space is of value to our audience. But in order to enable this experience, we really need to look at how we can overcome some of those challenges around team silos. So how can we make more connections between teams? From a product perspective, this is about making sure that how we prioritize and roadmap our features is consistent. So if we're looking to deliver these unified experiences, we need to be aligned to teams to make sure that we're roadmapping them in a consistent way. From an engineering perspective, we want to make sure that we have the infrastructure in place that's scalable and supported to be able to manage and collect and share this data across various teams so that we can deliver these personalized experiences. But from a design perspective, it's really about how we come together and start co-designing some of these cross-product experiences. Not only in and around this centralized space, but across and between all the different products in our ecosystem. And that's where we're at today. So we've gone through this process, we understand the vision of the experience that we'd like to start delivering. We understand some of the challenges and how we can work better as teams to start implementing some experiments and features. So now it's all about making those connections. And the key is, if we can make those connections internally, we really believe that's going to be the enabler to deliver those connected experiences for our audiences. And to deliver to the expectations around having a personalised experience, having an experience that's relevant to them. So that's where we're at. Thank you for listening, and I'll pass it over to Emma to talk about the search experience.
Thanks, Sue. Thank you, Sophie. Hello, everyone. Let me get my slide up. Move this away. I've got a screen here too. Look over there. My name is Emma. Hello. I am the design lead for the core web team in digital products. And for those of you that don't know, our team work most commercially on the ABC homepage, but we also collaborate with other teams across the web. So we work with ABC Listen, ABC News, other web experiences and teams to create more global experiences and share patterns. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about how the ABC core web team have been connecting content through ABC search. So let me take you on a little journey. Let's go back in time till about late last year, and we're going to talk about the world where Product Futures had just established this vision of connected content. There was a simultaneous piece of research done in digital product by the research team where they mapped the spectrum of discovery from purposeful to incidental discovery. And using those two pieces of research, the model and the vision, we thought, all right, what's cool web's role here, and where can we play? Enter ABC Search. That was a place under core web's kind of remit, a product touch point, where we thought naturally users were coming to purposefully discover content. For those of you that don't know what ABC Search looks like, I hope you've all visited an ABC website in the past year, but if you haven't, it looks something like this. So we had our sites, and then there was a little teeny tiny magnifying glass in the masthead, and we thought that was a pretty cool pattern, and when users clicked on that, they came to our Discover experience, where they could search. That was the experience across a whole bunch of our websites, news, listening, kids, the list went on. And so we thought, yeah, great. It has 6 million searches a year. We've got something to play with there. We've got a place where we can experiment and learn. And this is how our process went. I'm going to focus only on a few key parts of this process today and a few key learnings. Starting with this one, where we reviewed that existing experience. So we put an intercept survey up on the Discover page, and we recruited users that had experienced that website, that had been through that website, and we did some one-on-one interviews to learn what they were doing and how they felt about that experience. So people that had clicked that button gone to that page, and we thought, we're already onto something, right? Because we have this whole page dedicated to content discovery. It's called Discover, for goodness sake. Surely we're kicking goals already with product features. But we spoke to people in those interviews and we were really surprised, I guess. I love interviews with audiences, nothing quite so humbling. Surface disconnected from our users' needs. Sure, we had this experience where the content was connected, but the actual experience was disconnected. We were taking them out of the site that they were familiar with to this whole new foreign place, really, and that was jarring. So they didn't even get to the discovery bit. They were like, oh, and then a bunch of them were leaving. Here's a quote from Daniel who said, "It took me away. I was on our end, just trying to look for more detail. So in that process, we just lost track of users' primary need." So we went back and we thought, all right, we reframed the problem. Going back to Conway's law and the theory that Tim mentioned earlier, we didn't flip to the structure that was in the ABC into our product experience. We said that for generic experiences that are kind of cross-product, cross-platform, made by a cross-platform team, they need to look like this. But what if we didn't do that? Users usually only have an affinity with a single touch point at first for the ABC, like this one here. Crystal said, I don't know what the difference is between radio, ABC radio national in a filter that we had on that whole discover page. It's the way the ABC structure works, not what I want to search for. So we went back to the drawing board and we said, what if we didn't take them out? What if we made a simple change and just kept them there? What if we used that safe space, that familiar experience, and brought the cross-product content to them? Would that work? Cue next stage in the process. We did concept design, research. We had 2 separate prototypes. They were both high fidelity. We tested them again in one-on-one interviews with our audience. And this time, what we wanted to learn was whether or not keeping those key grounding elements like mastheads, like the search experience, and those, even things like the page styling and our components, keeping them more consistent was going to be a better experience for our audience, and whether they were going to be encouraged to discover content. And so the answer was yes. People were delighted by that. We realized that as long as we meet users' primary needs first, their need for purposeful discovery through a search, that was actually a great place where users would conduct incidental discovery on that other end of the spectrum, and then shift their mindset between finding what they came there to look for, and once they've done that, you can sprinkle in that cross-product content and delight them with that. Here's an example of a model of what that ended up looking like. So we have a search, we have a whole bunch of content there. That content is primarily from that example, Gardening Australia, we had Gardening Australia, stuff about cabbage moths. But then, hey, ABC Everyday did an article on that, ABC News did an article on that. Really, that brand silo didn't matter. It was topically related content that was the most powerful to our audience. So as long as we met their need initially for what they were looking for, and we met them with that familiarity, we could sprinkle in some of that cross-content experience. Worked a charm. This is what it looks like in the wild. We just started rolling it out. This is an example from ABC Listen. So now when a user goes to our website, we don't take them away, and we just bring our content to them, and we've made an effort to improve that UI and that experience to make it feel more comfortable. So grounding elements like the mastheads, navigation, the search input, and as I said, the styling all remain consistent. And on that search results page, they get what they came there for first. They search for background briefing, they get a background briefing program, but we can tease content, sprinkle and delight them with content from across the ABC, like related articles and related content. And that jumped out to a lot of our audience in the interviews. And they're like, oh, what's that? Maybe consider that. What's that? How's it going? Because it's been a while now. So it's out on a few of our websites, and already we've got an improved click-through rate, and we're seeing a decline in in pages that have what is this? Improving my results rate essentially means when I click, do I see no results or do I see results? There's less of that. People are getting content at the end of that road, and that's what we want. So what's next? We're not finished. As I said, we've only just started rolling this out. So we need to finish the rollout of this across our sites to make that experience consistent. We're doing that in a phased approach, and we've got A/B experimentation in that experience to test filters like these ones you see here. We're also making efforts to improve our results and the search engine itself, and of course, continuing that uplift of look and feel as it improves the quality of the experience for our audience. How does that relate looking back to product principles that came out of product futures work? We feel like we've made a step towards that connected content at the ABC and a unified experience, and that in doing so, we've also improved the journey that had a bit of friction before, and it has less now. We're seeing that in engagement. So a few takeaways to leave you on from our journey. The first one is be pragmatic. Take one step at a time in a project which starts with a really lofty goal or a big vision, and search did that. It was kind of low-hanging fruit, something we could do tomorrow, today, yesterday, and we're already one step closer to that goal. Second thing is, if you have the option, review life experiences. That thing you launched 2 years ago, how's it actually doing? Does it need to be fixed or changed or updated or improved? And so scrutinize those live experiences. There's nothing quite like that data and existing interactions out in the wild, and that highlighted a key friction point for us. Can recommend, not the friction, but that type of research. And last but not least, always question the problem, question your assumptions. Back to Conway's law, our thoughts and our models aren't always represented in our audience experiences. They're usually not. So question your assumptions and make sure you're doing that regularly. Want to check out more? Check this out. First of all, thank you to everyone that was involved in that work. Thank you to everyone that will be posting blog posts about it. Expect some updates on both the unified accounts experience and on search. We also did a whole bunch of accessibility testing, and there's a lot of other things that came out of that work. So if you'd like to check out those insights and any other insights from across the ABC, I'll pause for a brief moment so you can scan a QR code or visit www.abc.tv/digital-product. Thank you.
There might be questions, maybe 2 very quick questions or 1 very long one. Any questions? See one at the back?
Thanks. You did talk about how the customers wanted to discover all the other products on offer, or services or information on offer, but I didn't get a clear picture of what the business or the organisation drivers were, or from an ABC context perspective, what the organisation and the editorial drivers were about having centralisation and pushing us with the product.
Who wants it?
Obviously, we have a vested interest in increasing the engagement of the audience. So, if we can have them visiting more products, consuming more content for a longer amount of time, coming up regularly, then that boosts numbers that we need to reach KPIs and to compete with other people in a very crowded landscape. So, ultimately, I'd say driving more meaningful engagement is the biggest business outcome of cross-product journeys. We have data that shows that the more touch points an audience member engages with, that the more quality they are as an organism. So the more places that they consume content, the more engaged they are. So frequency of visit and time spent. So
thank you. I'll pass that as a long answer. Please, if you have more questions, please approach everyone after the show, ask questions directly. Maybe we have a quick pause. I think we're doing some meetup shout-outs now. Ben, do you want to talk quickly about design thinking?
G'day, I'm Ben from SydDT Design Thinking. Hit that QR code. Our next meetup is actually Thursday next week on the eve of International Women's Day. Kylie has organised this one. They've done an awesome job, lined up an awesome lineup for the panel. So come and be part of it, there's still some tickets. And we've got another one in March, looking like 2 in April. And then in May, we'll have Martin Tomic and Steve Beatty on their book launch tour. Which I think Kev's going to talk about in a moment. So if you are, you'll see all the different meetups we've got coming up, but we're on the countdown to number 100, which will happen either June or July. So if you're not already, want to be part of the community.
There you go. Sure. Yeah, we're really lucky to have both Martin and Steve speaking together at CCX Sydney on the 12th of March, just about a week later than Ben's event. Unfortunately, there's only one ticket left. So I just checked, and we've got rid of the 79 tickets. I actually put us on a tight leash, and so we've got one ticket left. So whoever in the room gets that ticket, go for it. But yeah, and we're really looking forward to that talk. And Martin's here, so I don't know if he's going to give any sort of insights. But is there a rumour that there might be some book giveaways?
There will be.
There will be some book giveaways.
There is a SydDT.
It's not a rumour anymore. And so yeah, who'll get the last ticket? Yeah, get in there and do it. Is that it? Or no? Go. Sorry, Adam.
I don't have a slide.
There you go.
Interpretive dance only?
Yeah, that's expected. Thank you. All right. Enterprise UX can be coming up on the 27th of March, which would be great to kind of do the Salesforce Experience Cloud focus. You can find us on Meetup. If you're in Canberra, we've got one coming up on the 13th of March, Enterprise UX Canberra. And if you're in Melbourne in April, we've got Enterprise UX Melbourne coming up there too. So you can find us on Meetup. Thank you very much.
Now I think we've got some, what's going on? Just some closing thoughts from Susan?
I think I was just going to say that the one thing I failed to mention at the beginning is that our meetup now, Design Connection, is brought to you by these 3 to 5 groups. So that's the connection.
You're all the connection.
We are all the connection. It's a joint effort from these organizations. And so occasionally we do things together. And occasionally we do things independently. It's all the same people at all the events anyway. But I do want to thank you folks. This has been a wonderful opportunity for us to sort of get up behind the scenes. Look at what those things that we just take around it. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Is our audio shout out this second. Thanks a lot to Susan for helping organise all this. Thanks a lot to all the volunteers. We're still managing the pizza and alcohol stands at the back. Just calling out, we will be slowly moving away from 8:05. We will start from now. From 8:15, we'll start being blogging about it. And we'll be meeting down there after the event. But for now, feel free to have pizzas and drinks. Thank you so much. Woo!